Good morning, everybody. We're up here in Eagle Crest today in Bismarck. It's just myself, Andrew, Anthony. We get kind of a dream property here. It's one of those things where you get 2 or 3 properties in a row that are really difficult. Lots of hills and angles, starts and stops, and then you get those that are, you know, kind of the reward for doing all that hard, that hard stuff. We got a small island here. Everything's on dirt again. Really good landscaper, but we're just going to go all the way around this house. There's 4 stops and starts, pretty easy. There's probably a couple 100 feet, I think, here. It's just regular gray curb. There's no color in it. So we're just, it's a gray slant. There isn't really anything that we're going to do special on this property. You can see how everything flows. They got a little bit of, swale there for drainage coming down this hill. The only thing that we're going to do a little different than we normally do is they are going to stop and start on either side of this. These stairs right here, I think they're going to probably do some cement out here or something, but typically we'll run by that and cut it down, but we're going to stop right there. So there'll be a little bit of hand packing, not too bad. And then it just flows right around the house. Long waves, curves. We'll make sure we get our drainage correct, and hopefully hour and a half with the 3 of us, we should be on to the next one. If you noticed on this island, and I understand why they're doing this, they have a little curve in the sidewalk up there. They have a little bit of a slope. Again, it might be hard to see in the video here, but we have a little bit of slope, so all your water, direct rain, is going to go downhill this way. And the way he's got the island drawn, again, this is a landscaper that drew this, he's got the curve, for this is a little kidney bean, he's got the curve basically facing the house, so any rain is going to get stuck in that curve. The water's going to settle right there. Now some people might say, well, put a drain in there so it drains through the island. That's all going to be built up with rock and everything, so there's nothing that's going to be able to drain through the island. So usually I tell people, if they want something like that, or the landscaper, just say, hey, there's going to be water that's probably going to settle there. It'll disappear real quick. It's going to go ahead and soak into the ground, but that's something for them to be aware of. Typically, if I'm drawing this out, I'm going to flip this around. I usually put the curve towards the street and angle the flat sides on the back so the water will drain around it. But if the curve is towards the street, it gives the island depth. It makes it look bigger than it actually is, and so it tends to look a little bit better. But they're putting the curve on the backside to kind of match that sidewalk, and I understand why they start on a curve, a tight curve like that. I'll go ahead and do a wheelie right away and get around this ledge. You're cutting your first joint. You're gonna realize you're gonna have to have a joint right there, because that's where we're starting. When I come back around, that's where my cold joint is. I want to make sure I have a joint there. Basically, I will do the same spacing right here, so my spacing should be correct. I'll just do the same ones all the way around, and you can go ahead and roll those. Hey, I'll just do a simple roll on those islands like this, and I'm on a little bit of a grade here, but I don't go too crazy with the length of my joints. They're probably 18 inches right there. It's totally fine. I'm gonna make sure you have enough, a little bit of forgiveness in there, as far as flexing and cracking and things like that. Coming up a grade a little bit around the corner, doing an inside curve. You just check the body position on this. My whole body is going to be outside the line. I think it can be outside so I can see. Obviously, going around a curve like that, getting a little bit more slag, a little bit more waste coming out. I'm at an angle here too, so that's why I have a little bit more. Lately, we've been getting bad bags. There's something there I gotta take out and fix. It's actually a weed that poked through, but we've been getting bags with a lot of chunks in them, so you know, you end up fixing these. The mix is really good. It's really easy to. I start on a curve, the sharpest curve I can start on, because I can get the machine to go around the outside and actually put the curve where I want. It's hardly any hand packing. Okay, so that's why I do that. I never move my tires. I never slide them at all. Whole season, it's all the same. So if I do on a sharp curve like that, I can go right around the outside and I don't have to hand pack it. Mess this up one way or the other. I wouldn't say mess it up, but you're better off going outside the line. Okay, my line is about 6 inches inside. I'm gonna go outside. It's gonna be easier to push that curb into the curve than it will be to pull out of it. Okay, so if you start pulling out, then you're gonna start getting loose on the outside. But if I push into the curb, it's still packed. And you can see where I took the mold. Excuse me, not the mold, but the machine off. You went straight right here because that's your mold. So this, I'm gonna have to pull a little bit to get that curve in there. Okay, and it left me plenty here, but I'm gonna get that curve going in there and try to match that up. Now these mixes are, you know, these mixes are perfect, so this is gonna be really easy for me. I'll just come around here and do that. Okay, but it's very simple. I only got about 6 to 8 inches to hand pack right there because of the way the machine works. Really, that's probably 75% done. You can see how I got a little, it pops out there a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna move that in. Try to get my line a little bit better. Again, it's gonna be easier to move in than it will be to try to pull. So, you know, this is really easy on dirt. You know, I can adjust this before I do my final trowel here. Take a look at that. It seems like it's pretty decent. Probably my favorite landscaper. This is my boy Matt.
What's up?
So we're gonna make him famous today.
I like it.
So there you go. It's pretty rounded right there. I'll go ahead and cut my joints. It's absolutely okay to trowel over that because I'll just go ahead and recut it. But everything is smooth and rounded. And usually when I'm done, I'm gonna take a little walk around to make sure, especially from the street, that it looks decent. If I need to adjust anything, you know, it's still soft enough right now. I can adjust that. But again, like I pointed out before, you see where the curve is. Curve's at the top. That could collect water. It's not gonna be a big deal on this property, but you know, overall that looks pretty decent for, you know, what he painted out.